To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to all the saints, to all the spiritual elders, to all the White Brotherhood, to all the great Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, to the Lord Christ, to the Lord Krishna, to all the great ones, holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, to my beloved teacher, Grandmaster Chokuksui, to his teacher, Mahaguruji Mailing. To all the great ones, we humbly invoke for your divine light, divine love, divine power, inner healing, physical healing, emotional healing. Thank you for healing us at all levels. Thank you for blessing us with an intelligent mind, goodwill, and the will to do good. Thank you for blessing us with a generous heart. Thank you for helping us to be receptive throughout the session, throughout the series. Thank you for blessing us with your divine guidance, your protection, and for your divine blessings. So be it. Thank you with deep gratitude, respect, and love. We thank you. Thank you for helping us to let go inner wounds. Thank you for helping us to let go inner taboos, limitations within us. Thank you for disintegrating and dissolving them through your light, your mercy, your compassion. Thanks, and in full faith, so be it, so be it, so it is. Inhale slowly and gently. You can open your eyes with a beautiful smile on your face. Yes? All right. So, welcome back into the series of the responsibility, relationships, and the responsibility. So, as I promised in the first episode of this series itself, that we will be talking about more and more on the relationships and the different taboos and stereotypes, and we will not focus outside because this session is not about outside. Yes, it is about being aware of certain limitations within us, certain patterns or certain behaviors in our life, and then recognizing them, breaking them, dissolving them, and becoming a better human being. Yes. So I welcome you all in this beautiful journey of episode 2, which is about gender equality. Now, in today's series, what are we going to cover about? As I mentioned in the first episode itself, that I'm going to share more and more experiences from my teaching journey. Yes. So those experiences I'll be sharing with you. And of course, the entire series, by the way, it is inspired by this beautiful book called The Woman, the Torch Bearer of the Future by the Torkam Saradaria. So this entire series is based on this book called The Woman, the Torch Bearer of the Future by the Torkam Saradaria. Now, where you will find this book, I'll share after the session itself. You will find it, the link. If you wish, you can just register a copy for yourself. And yes, you're good to go to read it. Yes. So basically, in today's session, we will be talking three things. Okay, our focus is going to be very crystal clear on three things. What is gender equality, and what stereotypes are there within us? Okay, because this, when we focus on other people, we are not taking the responsibility, we are not taking the charge. There is always a victim game which is being played, by us, and not being enough responsible to have command on our day-to-day life and becoming a better person. So there is no inner calling of changing within ourselves. Once we own, yes, I understand this is slight gray area of my life, and I can work upon it, I can work upon my lower nature, then the journey becomes very smooth. Then there is no situation where we are focusing on other people's fault. We want to grow, we want to evolve, we want to become a better human being, isn't it? So we'll be talking about certain crystallized thought forms which are there in the society, because society is made up of us. We cannot change other people, but we can change ourselves. Change within changes other people, right? And the third part will be most importantly, which is the predominant part of this entire series, today's episode of this series. Masculine and the feminine. Gender is divided into two parts, masculine and the feminine. And in terms of energy, in terms of vibration, in terms of vibes, what people call it. So we'll be talking about that. And also there will be breaking the stereotypes. Now, speaking of gender equality, can I know from you that what is the meaning of gender equality? What do you think so when I say gender equality? As the word itself describes that two gender, masculine and feminine, needs to be respected, needs to be divided, not exactly divided literally, but in terms of respect, in terms of opportunities, in terms of growth, there should be equality in between these two gender. Yes. Now, when we talk about gender, I feel, now again, this is my perception itself. Uh, I feel that we become, literally very engrossed or enslaved by this literally physical body, physical matter. So we'll be taking a couple of quotes also by the great evolved souls, and then we'll be talking about that as well. Yes. So basically, gender equality, the system itself arises because somewhere or the other, don't we think so that there exist certain stereotypes and taboos and limitations definitely in the society where there is a requirement to establish a balance between these two gender. Yes, there must be some inequality which has to be balanced. As it is balanced, it becomes gender equality. Now, speaking of that, we think, at times when we're talking about gender equality, it has something to do with the feminism, it has something to do with the women rights, women empowerment. Well, if you ask me personally, I believe in the gender equality in itself. There is not completely about only focusing on the women. There is not completely, focusing on the men itself as well. So because both would be too extreme, then where is the equality? Where is the balance? The balance is in the middle, right? When both of them are being treated equally and they themselves are treating themselves in a balanced manner. Yes, because if we focus on just women empowerment, if we just focus on men empowerment, then where is the balance? Where is the equality? There is no equality. Just think about it. So whatever I'm going to share with you is a couple of the experiences of my teaching experience itself, and a couple of teachings from the book itself. So let's be open, let's be discerning mind here, and let's not create any a rigid thought form. Yes, just be open, be receptive. I'm not saying you to accept what I'm saying, just be open and receptive. Now, speaking of that, for this special today's episode, I would like to give a special thanks to the TSG Foundation for giving us the permission and to share the teachings of the Torkam sir from this book itself. Yes. So when I'll be quoting some teachings, I'll be reading the book. Meanwhile, whatever I'm sharing, it's my own experiences and understanding. Yes. So gender equality, we can say there is no equality between two gender, and some limitations, some thought forms, some emotional conflicts are there within us, and which creates the society, and it becomes a very crystallized thought form. Now, most of the people start thinking and assembling and aligning themselves with that particular thought form. Now, could you tell me two thought forms or one thought form, which is specially stereotype for the women out there? And could you tell me just one thought form? Let's take a baby step. Can you tell me just one thought form which is just related to very crystallized with men? Okay, and as we evolve in the session, as we proceed ahead in the session, we will try to disintegrate them within us. So can you just tell me one thought form which is related to women? So you can mention the same in the chat section. All right. Okay. Thank you. So basically it means one of the reply which we have got over the Zoom itself is for women, the taboo about the menstruation cycle. Okay, they can't go to the temple. All right. Can we have another one for the men itself? Just anything which you feel, communication has to be a two-way process. It cannot be just a one-way process. It has to be two-way process. That's the basic definition of communication. They can't be vulnerable. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, for women, we know that we have just made this a very stereotype kind of concept that, you know, during their menstruation cycle itself, it has been treated like a taboo. It has been treated like a stereotype. They are treated sometimes that, by the own family members and by the close ones as, they are untouchables or something like that. I clearly recall one of these experiences or one of the conversation I was having, with one of the 17 plus age group child in one of my substitution classes, like years back, like 4 or 5 years back. And I remember we were talking a little bit about these things, because I feel that kids at a very tender age, if they are touched with a lot of sensitivity, a lot of nurturing, a lot of caringness, a lot of courage, they can bloom. Those seeds can be planted within them and they can be very beautiful human being in their rest of their life. And we were having this discussion, and I was asking them, how are you treated? Can you tell to your family members? Can you talk to your father about it? Can you tell, during your periods, during your menstruation cycle, you're having immense pain, you're having immense issue, and you can be vocal about the sanitary napkins and everything. So to my shock, the most of the revert which I received by the 17 plus was no. Then to my surprise, why? So they said that because our mothers have instructed us that anything regarding to periods, you are not supposed to talk with your father. Don't tell them. Tell it to me. I should be your go-to person. And that particular time, I can't forget itself. I slightly, got touched. And I did realize that how much we as a female entity, we'll move ahead and we'll talk about other things as well. We as a female, we as a woman, we as a lady are limiting the another lady or the women out there. We have to really think. To be a woman means to be nurturing. To be a woman means to be caring, to be loved, because that is the feminine energy. If we ourselves are going to restrict our children not to be vocal about something, not to talk, not to be open and talk about your own pain, which is very natural. Every month a female goes through that, which is very natural. Rather, we can teach our kids to go and tell your father, so that father can develop more sensitivity towards the child. We can teach the male, male in the house, the brother and the father, to be more comforting to her during those 3-4 beautiful days of her life, of the month, because that will develop the heart center of the other gender. Why? Because they will also, it's like a cultivating your heart, being generous, being kind, being caring, understanding somebody is going through something which they cannot go through physically, but yes, at emotional level we all do connect, don't we? When we hear some news at this point of pandemic, don't we feel emotional? Don't emotions comes to the surface? Yes, they do. So emotionally we are connected, energetically we are connected. So there's an energy connection between the father or the brother or the sister, brother and the sister, the father or the daughter, something like that. And the father becomes more nurturing. Now this child will, when she will grow, she will have a very open and a broad perspective towards her own cycle, which is very normal. At the same time, just forget about that. Let me come focus more on the male gender here. If a son is being taught these cultivation habits of the heart, don't you think so when they will be married, I mean, you're really sorting out their upcoming generation. The wife would be taken care of. At the same time, their kids will be cultivated this habit by the father itself. How beautiful the family would be. It's like just by sowing the correct seeds in the childhood, you are changing the upcoming future generation. That is the power. That is the power of love. Through accurate perception, through intelligence, and with a very slight will. Are we communicating? Are we talking? The world would be a beautiful place where we can talk about things normally, which are very normal. Yes. So that is one thing where we start discriminating between two genders, and I don't feel that is very appropriate. Well, here I would like to quote something from the teachings of the Swami Vivekananda, which is just there in the background. So let me just read as it is. I don't want to change. Swami Vivekananda, in quoted by Swami Vivekananda, the soul has no sex. Why should it degrade itself with sex ideas? Now here the sex itself means the gender, okay? The soul is neither male nor female. Yes, soul is pure consciousness, pure energy. Yes, so soul has no gender. And we are all soul having human experiences on the planet Earth, as said by William Shakespeare. We have come here on this stage to perform our activities. Yes. So we all have come here to play our part. So let's play our part. Let's help each other rather than being engrossed in these lower, limiting thought forms. And being a woman, really talking about other women. Now, well, I remember one of the experiences from when I was in school. I was in college, I remember clearly. I was in BCom first year, something like that. I remember that, a part of my life I've actually spent in a place 3-4 years where I was doing my graduation. And I remember that whenever, I used to go to the terrace and all. So, 3 typical aunties are there in the locality, unfortunately. So 2-3 aunties, like coming up and talking about the clothes and everything, and literally going to your entire hierarchy of the family. Then at that time I could not understand why people do so, why people are like this judgmental, why people are this discriminating, why we live in a democratic country, why if one's parents are very receptive and nice and generous about it, then why the society has to come in and poke their nose. Back then I could not understand these things. Now, as I stopped putting much wasting my energy on those thought forms itself, I did realize that it does not need much energy to be energized. What we need to change is change within. And her continuously mocks whenever I used to go to the terrace, twice or thrice, talking and gossiping with other locality aunties, did make me realize that it is very important in life to understand your own pros and cons. It is very important to understand your own courage, be just giving justice to yourself and being courage and do thing which you feel is right. Now, not feel you feel is right, which should actually be right, because for every person the definition of the truth is very, very different, isn't it? It is very different. So doing the right thing and not wasting much energy on the gossips and the criticism, rather bless, as Jesus Christ says that, bless the ones who have cursed you, something like that. Bless the people who gossip about you. So being a woman, what I'm trying to say is I can't change the perception of that lady, those aunties, but yes, I can change my perception about myself, not affecting myself with those thought forms. How? By developing a sense of courage, by developing a sense of good self-esteem, by understanding what is right, what is wrong. Am I doing the right thing? And how does other person's opinion affect me? Because if we start affected by other people's opinion, life would be very interesting in a chaotic manner. We'll be just carrying the garbage, nothing else. Now, those baggage which we are carrying on the back, hello, it creates a lot of self-guilt. It's like beating your own self, but you cannot see. So something like that. So That's very unfortunate to see, but again, we don't have to work there, we have to work on ourselves. Yes. Now, speaking of boys, or speaking of the male gender or the opposite gender, it is something like this. uh, Beautifully said in the chat section by one of the participant. It is very unethical, inhuman to teach them that they cannot cry, they cannot be vulnerable. Vulnerability has nothing to do with feminine and the masculine. It has nothing to do with a gender. Every human being has the right to express their emotions. Stop putting your own past garbage onto the next generation. If they will not be communicative enough, if they do not learn communication skills, well, if we do understand at this point of time everything is communication, we all cannot meet right now physically. Don't you think so? With the help of communication of internet, we are connected right now on this platform. Yes, we use mobile phones for the purpose of communication, we use internet for the purpose of communication. If you just imagine, if one day the Wi-Fi is not working, internet is not working, there's a blockage, communication is not happening. Similarly, in a male's life, stop telling them they cannot express. It's not okay to be vulnerable. It is completely fine for anyone to feel like crying, they can cry. Tell them, be have enough strength to collect yourself, and then every time you fall, it is okay to fall, but every time you rise, pick yourself up, and then one day there will come a time when you will finally pick up yourself. Because by telling somebody, your own child, you are projecting a lot of injury to them. Don't we know what is the percentage of heart attacks in case of a man or in case of a woman? Who suffers the most? Why we have to project our negative thought forms, our self-limiting beliefs on the present generation? And then we complain, our kid doesn't talk, our kid doesn't share, he is just involved with his friends. Of course, because he has found a safe place in the opposite male group. He has not been given even good opportunity, ample opportunity to express itself. So what do you expect from the child? As the child grows up, starts running crazy after money, profession, giving less importance to the personal life, because in the childhood itself, the child, this kid, male kid, was taught, do not express yourself, means you are suppressing the feelings. If the feelings are being suppressed, don't you think so that in the later year of the life, when they are being married or when they are in a relationship, the communication will not happen, because they did not learn to express in the early stages of the childhood. As they did not learn that, it got suppressed there. It has to be suppressed when they they are in a relationship or in a marriage. And we know at this point of time in the globe, across the globe, what is the status of relationship they suffer the most? Lack of communication. Most of the people, they cannot communicate with each other because they cannot express their feelings, their emotions. Most of the breakups, they happen because of that. Most of the extramarital affairs happens because of that. Most of the bond, they break because of lack of communication. Think about it. So what kind of a society we want to live in, what kind of a world we want to live in, it depends on us. Yes. So a soul has no gender, my dear. A soul has no gender. Let's stop segregating in the lower world on the planet Earth. Yes. Here I would like to also quote a very beautiful quote from one of the writers. So it is something like this. W. Kim Bao says that, and this is one of my favorite quote, by the way: love people, not things. Use things, not people. I say it again. Be receptive. Quote by Spencer W. Kimball. Love people, not things. Use things, not people. We do it just opposite. Let's be honest and candid to ourselves, because until unless we are not honest and candid to our own self, how are we going to change ourselves? Yes. So be slightly brutally honest to yourself. To an extent, we don't go into self guilt. We have the awareness that yes, we want to change ourselves. We do just opposite. We are so much attached to the matter. We are so much attached to our purse. We are so much attached to our mobile phones. We're so much attached to our gadgets. We are so much attached to our I don't know what else you can think, what we are attached to. So we are so much attached to our things, sometimes books, sometimes property or whatever. We're so much attached that we are ready. We love the matter so much. We are ready for the cost of that to criticize, to hurt, to give pain to other people. And unfortunately, as the lords of karmas are like, what we do to others, we do upon ourselves. Immensely, we sow the seeds of hurt, and when then we get hurt. Yes, not building the right human relationship, using other people, for our own sake, for our own work, just exploiting them, getting our things done on the name of the friendship, on the name of the bond, on the name of the brotherhood, sisterhood, fatherhood, motherhood, or whatever, friendship. That is not right. In a relationship, there has to be a win-win situation. A person cannot just inhale, another person cannot just exhale. There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. Most of the time, we meet people to develop the right human relationship, because if we see sometimes, not sometimes, if you really see at a longer picture, what happens? Two people meet, and I'm not talking about opposite gender here. It could be same gender as well. I'm just talking about two human beings. Don't go literally. When I say relationship, I mean all the relationship we have in this on this planet, not only just two specific gender relationship. So when two people come together, most of the time, if you observe, the lesson is that one has to balance how to exhale less, and another would be always on the taking part. Yes. And another person, first person will be on the giving part, and the second person will always be on the taking part, right? So we have to turn this wheel from here to here, where both the people learn, yes, I have to also learn to exhale, and this person also realize the moderation and balance, that yes, I need to also give less, and balance. I cannot be all giving, and the person has to realize I cannot be all receiving. So it has to be balanced. From this, it has to be turned into this. There, if we have the harmony and we try to have a win-win situation, the relationships will be having a very happily life, a joyous life. There would be actually life in the relationship. If we see across the globe, relationship has almost most of the people, when we are suffering in a relationship crisis, it has died. There is no love. Love doesn't demands only giving. Yes, that is at a very higher level of form of love, but we have to also operate to live in this world and give and share and balance. Yes. So we cannot keep on loving the things and using the people. That's a wrong perception. Now, speaking of that, today we'll just slightly touch about the casuality in a relationship, and then in the next we will be talking details about it. Yes, because I feel that this topic needs to be brought forward, and we should openly talk about it. It is very required, to talk about, because most of the time we suffer in life and we don't know where to go. We don't have a platform, we don't have a people to talk about it, and those vulnerabilities we just embrace, and that creates suffocation, anxiety attacks, sadness, hurt. Yes. So again, we have to understand that casuality should not be there at all, especially in a bond, because anything we do in life, we are responsible for it. Any action we take, we are responsible for it. If we are just being casual, we are attached with the things, we are so attached with the money. I'm not saying we should not be attached, that is a tool to live life. But if you're so attached that we are harming the human beings, at the cost of it. We are using them at the cost of it. There is so much of casualty, not being enough responsible of the responsibility which we have taken. That is very wrong human relationship. That is a very lower level of relationship. We should really learn how to, we should really learn how to not be so casual in a relationship. Because in a relationship, for example, a mother and a daughter, there is a responsibility of the mother and there is also a responsibility of the daughter. Any either or goes casual in that relationship, it will just be a wretched situation. So is between a husband and a wife, so is between a couple, so is between a brother and a sister. There has to have sense of responsibility. If you give commitment to somebody, if we give commitment to somebody, there has to have a sense of responsibility. That is why this series is about relationship and responsibility. If we do not own our responsibility and we are jumping from one relationship to another relationship, oh my gosh, what are we doing with our own self? Forget about the other person. What kind of limiting thought forms we are developing, and what kind of bruised and wounded children we are going to produce. I really think about it. It gives me goosebumps. Yes. So speaking of this, now let us understand a very different perception on relationship and gender equality. So are we ready? Are we ready? Let's not go in the self-guilt. Are we ready? Okay, seems like we are ready. Now, this was one lower perception on the relationships or gender equality. Now, when I say gender equality, masculine and feminine, we compare it, masculine has only something to do with the male, yes? And the femininity has something to do with the female. But that is not the case so. A male, masculine and feminine at a higher perspective is energy. Haven't we met some male who are beautifully feminine? Haven't we met some female who are beautifully masculine? Courageously masculine. So it's not that a person will be 100% feminine, 100% masculine. No, that is itself inaccurate perception. We will have some masculine energy, we will have some feminine energy, but at a broader perspective, we might have more feminine or more masculine. So that energy is dominating our charts, that energy is dominating our life. So we have to learn to find a balance. Haven't we met some male who are so amazing feminine? Their voice is so subtle, they're so polite, they are so communicative, they're so distributive, they're so much into the group work, they're so much into the nurturing, not breaking the bond, art of communication is there. Yes. And haven't we met some feminine who are very willful, slightly ruthless, slightly destructive as in, breaking the old thought forms and creating the new thought forms, very goal oriented, isn't it? So a soul can be in the feminine form in a male body also. Let's stop discriminating. Let's not be so ruthless and so turbulent in our life that we forget to enjoy that a male body also can be feminine. A female body, the energy in the female body can also be masculine. Here we need to understand and break the stereotypes. Now what happens when the moment we don't accept it, lack of acceptance within ourselves, we have a lot of guilt that why am I not so loving? Why am I not so caring? So yes, we have to let go and replace it with lots and lots of positivity, lots and lots of opposite energy as well. But that does not mean we will not appreciate what we naturally have. Are we communicating? Are we talking? Are we talking? So if you see across the globe, again, this is one of the examples I have observed actually. Most of the top chef, if you see, they are all male, I mean, really top chefs I'm talking about. Top chef too, according to me, should be our mothers, yes, caring, nurturing, and every time. But just to give you an example, about the job type, because we think, for cooking only women has to be there. If you see the very successful chefs, they're all male. Yes, isn't it? They're all male. So think about it. Nurturing can be mass in the male body too. So please stop suppressing some particular gender just because we get attached with this physical form that they cannot express. They have all the right to express. So is the women. They have all the rights to study, get educated, develop the virtues, cultivate the heart. Start cultivating the heart. Cultivating the heart cultivates the soul. Stop pushing so much pressure on people. We are so lost in the world of fame. We are so lost in the world of um, domination that we don't understand what are we doing with other human being. Sometimes we are walking upon somebody, we are tapping upon somebody. We don't understand that until and unless the lords of karma are very merciful. They manifest also a similar situation in our life, and then we learn through suffering. So let's learn through pleasure. Why we have to learn through suffering always? Let's decide to learn through pleasure. Now speaking of that, let us read slightly from this book also. So I'm going to read this chapter called the chapter 9, The Responsible Women, from this book again, The Woman, the Torchbearer of the Future by the Torcam Sanitarium. So this is page number 192. I'm going to read in front of you. The feminine polarity is more creative. So they are talking about feminine energy, not female in the physical body, not male in the masculine body. We are just talking about energy. So focus on the energy. The feminine polarity is more creative, constructive, and tends towards greater harmony and rhythm. So what is the feminine energy? They create rhythm, they create love, they create creativity, they create communication and harmony. There's a lot of motherly nature in the femininity, Whereas in the masculinity, there is a lot of balance, a lot of goal oriented, yes, aligning their self, polarizing themselves. So let's see what is written on the page number 193, the difference, in the masculine and the feminine energy. Well, they both are important in our life. Not one is important. They both are equally important. Okay, so let's read. This is one of my favorite part from this particular book. So let's read it. The masculine nature wants to dominate. Why it wants to dominate? Because it is very centered, it is very goal oriented, it is very goal oriented, or consistency is there of aim. Whereas the feminine nature wants to encompass and be inclusive. They want to include everyone. Masculine nature works with the matter, and the feminine nature works with emotions and intuition. That is why one of the reason, if you see, a soul, mostly, not exactly 100%, soul in the women body is very intuitive. I'll give you one example. Women will be able to connect more with me in this particular example. Happens or not, all of a sudden, if we feel like somebody is looking at us, somebody is staring at us, staring at us with some filthy emotions, and the moment we look back, we generally find somebody who's looking at us and staring at us. So that comes through a lot of emotion sensitivity through our emotional body or emotions, we can say. So a soul in the female body is generally very sensitive. Now a soul in the energy in the masculine body can also be sensitive. Yes, if they have more feminine energy, they'll be very sensitive, very sensitive. The masculine nature works with the willpower, the feminine nature works with the power of love. Power of love. I mean, if you see history, great saints, like one of my most favorite is Saint Mother Teresa. If you see how loving she has been, how kind she has been, how generous she has been. So, that is more feminine energy, power of love. Unfortunately, we think that love is the weakness. No, love is the strength. It's a symbol of strength. Not everybody can love unconditionally. Not everybody can be loving in their words. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of challenge at times to be still loving, to be still generous, to be still kind. So that is a power. That is not the weakness. That is a power. We fail to understand that is a weakness. No, it takes a lot to develop a power and the strength to develop love itself. The masculine nature is the path, the feminine nature is the field. The masculine nature demands, the feminine nature gives. So if we see generally this is between a couple, one person is very, very, very demanding, another person is super, super giving, So they have to learn to balance. One who's giving has to balance to receive also. One who's always receiving has to balance to give also. This is one of the lessons. People are married and they have to have a path and they have to have a common goal, help each other to evolve. The purpose at a higher level is to help each other to evolve, not just keep on exploiting each other. Yes. The masculine nature asks questions and find answers. Feminine nature feels and intuitively learn. The masculine nature divides and separates. The feminine nature synthesizes. If you see the zodiac also, well, this is not a part of today's session. If you see certain zodiac symbols also, they have a lot of masculine energy. Some has a very feminine energy. The man and the woman are just like 2 feet on the path of evolution. So we have 2 legs, yes. How the world would be if we have just one leg? A lot of challenges, a lot of difficulty. Similarly, if we just have one energy within us, it would be very, very difficult. So we have to learn how to embrace the another person's field and another person's energy. If somebody's feminine and you're masculine, learn to have the balance. If you are feminine, another is masculine, learn to have a balance. And at the end, also within yourself, try to balance the masculine and the feminine. Each has its own ups and downs. Each either leads or follows. Now, speaking of that, how are we going to do? So let us recite a beautiful invocation, the great invocation, which has been, we are going to recite, and with the excess energy towards the end, we will be asking for the balance of both the aspect in our life. So are we ready? Just close your eyes. Just listen to my voice. Inhale slowly. Keep your spine straight. Exhale slowly. Let us chant Om 3 times. Om. 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 From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of every person, every being. Let light descend on earth. Om. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. Let love descend on earth. Om. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where the evil dwells. Oh, the purpose, let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Oh, Om. Om. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to the beloved teacher, to his teacher Mahaguruji Mene, to all the great ones, holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, spiritual helpers, all the beings of communication, all the beings of relationship, thank you for your intense healing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for blessing us, balancing the masculine and the feminine aspect within us. Thank you for your divine mercy, divine compassion. Thank you for giving us the inner strength to cultivate our heart and minds and balance it with a good will and will to do good. Thank you for blessing us with a discerning mind. Thank you for blessing us with the power of love. I forgive myself. I let go of my past for whatever mistakes I have done, knowingly, unknowingly, consciously, unconsciously. I do understand now whatever I did was simply sheer lack of ignorance. Lord God, thank you for blessing us with courage, justice, love, compassion, loving kindness in thoughts and words and in action. Lord God, thank you for forgiving us at the same time. Forgive your child, and I forgive the ones who has caused me pain, injury, sorrow, suffering, knowingly, unknowingly. As I understand, the work within me is required to be done rather than focusing on outside. Those people were just a mirror, those souls were just a mirror to help me to evolve. May they all be blessed with whatever is best for them. I forgive and I let go. I forgive and I let go. I forgive and I let go. Thanks, and in full faith, so be it. With deep, deep gratitude and respect and love, we thank you, so be it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I forgive myself, I accept myself. Thank you for blessing all our lives with a balanced masculine and feminine aspect, so be it. You can open your eyes with a very beautiful smile. Atma, Namaste. A special thanks to the TSG Foundation. Also the forgiveness prayer, which we did, actually, I, as a tool, started learning it in my school, where I learned it from the teacher, Grandmaster Chok Sui, who's the founder of Modern Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. Well, there is a forgiveness technique which is given in the school itself. So when in life there is a crisis, we should try to, I mean, when there's this emotional crisis, we should try to do the right thing instead of meditating on it. So forgiveness heals the soul. Forgiveness heals us, and it is my teacher, Grandmaster Chokok, says that it is therapeutic in nature. So yeah, we should learn how to forgive our own self as well, because holding the past is not the right thing to do. Being in the present is the right thing to do. And how can we get rid of the past? By forgiving ourselves, forgiving the people. That increases the loving kindness within us. So now there's something called inner forgiveness and outer forgiveness also. If you go to my YouTube channel called Akriti Sondhi, there you will find the entire series on forgiveness. We had a session and a practice session, a very big, beautiful session. So you can do it as many times. YouTube, the name of the channel is AKRITI SONDHI. That is my name, Akriti Soni. Thank you. Hope this session helped you all, and we'll meet soon. Announcement will be done on the page itself, and we'll come together with another topic. Also, if you would like to talk about certain topics, please let us know in the chat section, and we never know how we can get connected and touch the lives of each other. Thank you. Atma Namaste.